In this video, we'll look at 11 canceled actors who didn't deserve it, according to fans. Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser had a strong career in the 2000s, but suddenly disappeared as the end of that decade approached. Many were surprised that the actor would stop appearing in new roles, but a couple of things led to him being blacklisted from new movies. Brendan earned the ire of many Hollywood big shots when he accused Philip Burke, a Hollywood executive, of sexual assault. This led to him getting fewer acting roles, as well as marital troubles. This meant he had less time and money to focus on an acting career. Although he disappeared from the spotlight for a while because of this, he would return in the late 2010s with several new TV and movie roles. Brendan remains beloved by his fans, and that isn't likely to change anytime soon. One commenter said, "He's a very kind person who went through hell because of his ex. She left him with his 2 kids, one of which has autism. She basically wanted to control his life and money." Another commenter mentioned his troubles with Hollywood, saying he was blacklisted for accusing a bigwig in Hollywood of sexual assault. "I love Brendan, and I'm glad to see him working again. I also loved him in Doom Patrol, and I look forward to the other projects he has coming out." Many commenters were sympathetic, including one that said, "He just seems like a genuinely good guy. I hate that anything bad happened to him." Be sure to stick to the end to see the actor canceled just because people didn't like his Star Wars character. If you thought that Brendan Fraser story was crazy, wait till you hear this next one. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more amazing videos. Ashley Judd. Ashley Judd had a promising career as an actor in the film industry, but things went south after she publicly opposed one of the most powerful executives in Hollywood. That person was Harvey Weinstein, and Ashley's stance against him led to her being blacklisted by Hollywood as a whole. Ashley claimed Harvey exploited her and used promises of acting jobs to get her to do lewd things with the film executive. In the end, Ashley refused to give in to Harvey's demands and manipulation. As a result, he badmouthed her to other people in the film industry, and Ashley's career suffered due to this. Commenters were highly supportive of Ashley, especially in the aftermath of the later revelations about Harvey Weinstein's horrible actions. One commenter said, "I always wondered what happened to her. I was a big fan back in the day. I remember thinking a couple of times that I hadn't seen her in anything and wishing that she would do a new movie." Another commenter added on by saying, "I wonder how many other actresses disappeared from movies and didn't get roles because of that vile man." One commenter also mentioned her principles, saying she didn't go to Harvey's hotel room on demand, but other actresses did, so she was left behind. That is sad, but at least she has a backbone. Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson was at the top of her career in 2004, being well known and beloved in the music industry. She had millions of fans, and all of this led to Janet landing a starring role in the 2004 halftime show for the Super Bowl. Unluckily for Janet, the show wouldn't go as planned. A wardrobe malfunction led to the music star accidentally exposing herself on live television, and this caused serious backlash from the public and the media. People all over the world were widely critical of Janet in the aftermath of the incident, which became known as Nipplegate. Even worse, she was blacklisted by the music executives for being deemed too controversial then. Commenters were largely in favor of Janet and believed she was wrongly canceled. One commenter said, "Janet Jackson definitely didn't deserve that. Freaking Puritans." Another added on, "Way over the top reaction. I still can't work out what all the fuss was about." Another commenter mentioned Justin Timberlake, who was part of the wardrobe malfunction and avoided any serious backlash. Justin completely threw Janet under the bus. Plus, he lied about Britney, saying she cheated on him when that was totally untrue. Winona Ryder. Winona Ryder was canceled when she was arrested for shoplifting in 2001. According to the police report, she was caught attempting to steal $1,000 worth of items. This led to Winona being found guilty of vandalism and grand theft. During the trial, which aired on TV, Winona claimed her actions were only done as research for playing the role of a kleptomaniac character in a movie. Few people bought her excuse though, and she ended up paying thousands of dollars in fines after the fact. Things got worse for Wynonna when word leaked to the press that she was in possession of numerous narcotics during her arrest. Wynonna was charged with felony possession of Endocet since she lacked a prescription for the drug. However, a physician spoke up and revealed that she had given it to Wynonna without a prescription. This revelation saved the actor from jail time, and she only ended up having to do some community service and drug counseling. Nevertheless, she faced extreme difficulty getting back into the spotlight. A lot of people had the perception that I just disappeared in the 2000s, Wynonna said. And I did, but only from the world of Hollywood. Wynonna would recover from her bad break, though, and came back onto the scene in 2010 with the movie Black Swan. She would star in the hit show Stranger Things in 2016, and this would kickstart her path back into stardom. Since then, she's been beloved by the public and press once again. The co-creators of Stranger Things said this of Wynonna: "She had that movie star prescience where you simply point the camera and she pops off the screen." Commenters were generally supportive of Wynonna, with one saying she was blackballed for some really ridiculous reasons. Another continued saying, "We are all human. Which of us has never done anything we were ashamed or embarrassed about? All of this judging people do all the time is depressing." One commenter praised her recent return, saying she's been making a good comeback. "I love her in Stranger Things." Hayden Christensen. Hayden Christensen became a child star for his role in the Star Wars prequels, but he would fade quickly out of the spotlight afterwards. Although Hayden had landed an impressive role, playing the star character Anakin Skywalker, many were critical of his performance. Some disliked his dialogue during the films, and others thought he acted the lines poorly. The biggest hindrance to Hayden's career, however, was when he stepped away to raise a family. Hayden had a daughter in 2014 and stepped away from Hollywood even more to focus on his personal life. There was something in the back of my head saying, if this time away is going to damage my career, then so be it. If I can return and claw my way back in, then maybe I'll feel like I've earned it. Commenters were generally on Hayden's side, but there was some difference of opinion on his acting skills. One commenter said, "I think he got the short end of the stick. Anakin wasn't made to be a very likable character. Neither was Luke, and Mark Hamill's film acting career never really took off either." Another commenter added, "He got canceled after the mess that was the Star Wars prequel trilogy. It was truly awful, but it wasn't his choice to have a monologue about sand." Some other commenters were more critical, with one saying, "Honestly, he's just not a great actor. Star Wars aside, he's kind of wooden and not expressive." A different commenter added on by saying, "The thing with Hayden is he's just not a very good actor. He wasn't canceled, he's just not good enough to be in anything worth watching." Megan Fox. Megan Fox was canceled after making shocking comments about Michael Bay and Steven Spielberg. The comments came out while she was working on the set of the Transformers movie series. At the time, Megan gave an interview about Michael Bay's directing style. "He's like Napoleon, and he wants to develop this insane, infamous madman reputation. He wants to be like Hitler on his sets, and he is." Megan was fired from the Transformers series not long after that interview, and many rumored that Steven Spielberg was behind the decision. While he publicly denied any involvement, the suspicions remained. Megan's career was badly hindered when she was let go from the Transformers series, especially when Steven Spielberg allegedly told other Hollywood producers she was difficult. This made it harder for Megan to land an acting role, and she was blacklisted from Hollywood for a time. Megan responded to the blacklisting and issues in Hollywood after the fact in a public interview, saying, "Women have been treated as a commodity ever since the movie business began. There was always someone objectifying you, and we just ignored it. Have you taken a look at Harvey Weinstein? How is he going to get laid unless he has power? Never." Public opinion on Megan's canceling was sharply divided, with people taking both sides for and against her. One commenter said she was also just at the MTV Movie Awards saying her boyfriend Machine Gun Kelly insisted she dress naked, and her response was, "Whatever daddy wants." Weird response for someone eloquent. Another commenter piled on, saying, "Yeah, I have no sympathy for Megan Fox. Sorry." However, some commenters were supportive of Megan. One commenter said a lot of commenters here noted that she leaned into her sexy looks, ignoring that she's now an adult. She was complaining about being overly sexualized when she was still a child. Another commenter defended Megan, saying, "Honestly, society is not used to listening to people that are really beautiful. It's like they don't have anything else worthy except their beauty. It's like you are just a beautiful doll that has nothing important to say. That's such a shame." Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes was an extremely famous child actor who starred on Nickelodeon, but she fell out of the spotlight after struggles with mental issues and run-ins with law enforcement. Amanda announced she'd be leaving acting in June 2010, claiming that it was because she no longer loved acting. "Being an actress isn't as fun as it may seem," she said. "If I don't enjoy something anymore, then I stop doing it." Following her departure from acting, she got into legal trouble several times. Amanda was arrested in 2012 for a DUI and in 2014 received 3 years of probation for reckless driving. She didn't help her public image any further when making shocking comments on Twitter, such as calling the president's family ugly. Amanda's legal issues and bizarre public statements caused many in the public to turn on her. But there was another side to the story. Amanda also made claims in October 2014 that she was physically and mentally abused by her father. These statements, as well as others, led to Amanda being placed into conservatorship that year. Although Amanda had made many mistakes since leaving the acting sphere, she returned to the public eye in 2018 with a very different image. She released a profile in November of that year, claiming that she had struggled with bipolar disorder and misuse of narcotics. However, since then, Amanda seems to have turned her life around. She got engaged to Paul Michael, a man she met at Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, and in February 2022 filed to end the conservatorship. Amanda's parents were supportive of ending the conservatorship, and it officially ended in March 2022. Commenters mostly reacted sympathetically to Amanda's plight, mentioning her struggles as a child actor in the spotlight from a very early age. One commenter said, "I have no idea what went on, but she looked unhappy. It seemed like she just needed some good friends or family." Another commenter added, saying, "She had a very public breakdown, and a cry for help is a cry for help. I thought she was a delight all of the years she was working." Aziz Ansari. Aziz Ansari faced public backlash when he had a disastrous date, and the girl accused him of sexual misconduct. After the bad date, the woman anonymously published a story on babe.net. In the story, the woman used the fake name Grace, and she claimed that Aziz had pressured her during a lewd encounter. Aziz claimed the encounter was completely consensual, but this woman didn't agree. In the end, Aziz apologized to the woman for any hurt feelings, but refused to admit that he'd forced the woman to do anything. Aziz suffered some negative press for a while, and his special, Being Mortal, was put on hold for the time being. In the end, he survived the media outrage, though, and continues to perform for public audiences as of 2022. People in the comments were overwhelmingly on Aziz's side and believed he had done everything right on that date. Although things didn't go well for the woman, they didn't believe he deserved to be canceled at all. One commenter said, "That was utter BS. He did everything you're supposed to do and stopped when his date said no. He let her leave when she wished to and even paid for her Uber." Another commenter added on, saying, "As a woman, I'm sick of being told I need to believe all women. No, I don't. I've been legitimately sexually assaulted, and this was not that." One commenter sided against Aziz, saying, "I don't know, I read the full story of the date, and it was bad enough that you could tell something was wrong with the guy." Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman was canceled after accusing several stars in Hollywood of sexual assault, including publishing a documentary with stunning accusations against Charlie Sheen. In the documentary, Corey claimed that Charlie forced himself upon his fellow actor Corey Haim, who was 13 at the time. Charlie vehemently denied the claims, calling them sick, twisted, and outlandish. Corey faced his own accusations, though, when in June 2020, he was removed from the Screen Actors Guild after former associates alleged misconduct by the actor. Many in Hollywood attacked Corey at the time, especially Barbara Walters, who claimed he was damaging an entire industry. However, many others were on Corey's side in all of this. One commenter spoke out, "There are so many in the industry that ought to be held accountable. So many. The Corey situation broke my heart." Although another also said, "This whole situation was really hard for us 80s kids to take." One commenter was more skeptical of Corey's claims though, saying, "I see the problem, as he said he was abused and was going to name the abusers, but he never did." Another commenter replied to this saying, "I don't think a victim ought to be blamed or ridiculed because they can't overcome their trauma and confront their abusers." Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson was canceled in February 2019 when he became caught in a media firestorm after making controversial comments during an interview. The incident took place during an interview with The Independent, a journalistic organization that sought to gain some insight into Liam's past. Liam agreed to the interview because he wanted to promote his latest film, which would come out later that year as Cold Pursuit. During the interview, Liam admitted that someone very close to him had once been violated. According to Liam, the person who forced themselves upon this loved one had been an African American. "My immediate reaction was this," Liam told the reporter. "I asked, did she have any idea who it was? When she said she didn't, I asked what color they were. She told me it was a black man." Liam admitted in the interview that he didn't take that news very well. "I went up and down areas with a metal stick, and I'd hoped that I would be approached by someone," Liam continued. "I'm ashamed to admit that for a week, I hoped a black guy would have a go at me so that I could take him down." Liam went on to clarify in the interview that he never went through with these thoughts. "It was horrible when I think back that I even considered doing that," Liam said, "but I learned a lesson from it." Although Liam claimed he had moved on from that time, many in the press weren't so willing to leave his story in the past. One professor responded to the story by saying those comments were totally offensive and inappropriate. However, others were on Liam's side. He felt ashamed a week later and understood that he was wrong to think the things he did, a footballer said on BBC. "We ought to have this conversation." One commenter was supportive of Liam's actions, saying, "As a black woman, I totally understand his state of mind at the time his friend was violated. When I was attacked by a dog, I became afraid of dogs. If someone in a blue sweater attacks us, we tend to become afraid of people in blue sweaters. I was violated when I was 14 by a church brother, and I still can't fully trust men who go to church." The victim told Liam she was violated by a black man, so that was all he had to go on. A different commenter also came out in favor of Liam's honesty, saying, "I agree, my father was racist and homophobic, and I was very proud of him when he joined BLM and voted for Pete Buttigieg before he passed away. It takes a lot to be honest about being wrong, and I think it's helpful for people to hear things like that, be open about bigotry, and hear people admit faults and say they were wrong. Still, it's not something you can easily admit to the public no matter who you are, because nobody is obligated to forgive you for it." Another commenter had a different view, saying, "As an experienced actor that has many years in the industry, I really expected better from him. There are things that you say and things you don't say to a journalist in public." Another commenter joined the criticism, saying, "He went out looking for any black man to rough up. He dug his own hole." Ahmed Best. Ahmed Best was canceled for one of the least expected reasons ever, and it almost caused him to take his own life. Ahmed Best was only 25 when he landed the first major film role of his career, and it would turn out to be a massive one. The year was 1999, and Ahmed was chosen to play a character in Star Wars I: The Phantom Menace. It was the first of the Star Wars prequel films and would become one of the most successful and iconic science fiction series of the 2010s. The character Ahmed was chosen to play was Jar Jar Binks, an alien who acted as a goofy sidekick. Unfortunately for Ahmed, the audience hated Jar Jar Binks, and things would only get worse for him after the movies came out across the world. The public reaction to Jar Jar Binks was enormous, and people criticized the character for his over-the-top, cartoonish behavior. Ahmed struggled with his newfound fame and notoriety, claiming in an interview, "I felt like a success and a failure at the same time." Nevertheless, Ahmed struggled with the negative reactions of fans and people in online communities. Some hardcore Star Wars nuts took their frustration out on the actor personally, telling him, "You ruined my childhood." Others went even further, and Ahmed reported receiving death threats because of his portrayal of Jar Jar Binks. All of this took a very heavy toll on Ahmed, and he considered taking his own life as a result. Fortunately, he wouldn't go through with that decision in the end. Instead, he decided to turn his focus to independent filmmaking and even picked up martial arts as a hobby. Ahmed is doing much better now, although his fame in Hollywood is nowhere near where it was during the early 2000s. Commenters were very supportive of Ahmed, with one saying, "I hated Jar Jar to the core of my soul, but I'm sorry the actor suffered. Jar Jar is in no way his cross to bear." Another commenter added, "People are really such morons to hate an actor for the roles they play. I hated Winona Ryder in The Crucible, but if I had the chance to meet, I'd praise her for making me hate her character so much." Another commenter blamed George Lucas, saying, "Even the great Meryl Streep couldn't have saved that character. Jar Jar just sucked, and there's a special place in hell for George Lucas for inventing him." Click here to see canceled actors and musicians and where they are today. See you there.